So I have some of these tropical plants that I brought from Florida, and then some that I got at the Asian market. And this is chaya, which has edible leaves. And I started out with just this little stem, and you can see how big this thing has grown in just a couple of months. And then over here we've got, this is that water spinach, I think it's called, and also called ing chai, that I got cuttings of at the Asian grocery store. And now you can see they're doing really well here. It looks like something likes to eat them a little bit too, but these things are great for summer greens, and I just pull the leaves off and stir fry them. And they just have a mild, delicious kind of spinachy flavor. Oh, look at that. There's even a can of, oh no. Actually I think what this is the turmeric. I had planted turmeric here, so there's a little bit of turmeric coming up from that tuber that I brought back from Florida. First I thought it was canna. Looks like canna. And then back here I've got the lemongrass, tufts of lemongrass, and there's more of them over here. They're kind of like weeds, and they're not going to grow as big back there as they normally would in a season, because they're so kind of in competition with all those other plants. And one thing that I learned about lemongrass recently is that in like Southeast Asia, where it's used as an ingredient in curries, the grass clumps get really big, and so you get these huge stems, and then they use the inner part of that stem that's really tender and they grind it up as a part of the curry. And we can't get those big grass sections here to be able to use the lemongrass in that way, but we can always use it in a tea, and there's other ways that you can use it culinarily. Like you can add it into like a tom yum soup and then just fish it out of there, because it's pretty fibrous and it will still impart that lemony flavor in your soup. So I'm looking forward to that. But these are like the nice summer greens from the tropics, the chaya and the ing chai. So I've been using those in my cooking. These beans growing up these cages here are Nicaraguan red beans. So these should be producing a lot of good dry beans for me to use throughout the year. And I like it that they're climbers. They're supposed to be half runners, but pretty much they're full pole beans at this point. I don't know why, if they started out that way or if they've sort of crossed and become that way, but the seeds still look pretty much like they did when I got them, and they taste the same. But this should be a good bed that produces a lot. It's kind of spilling over into other beds, unfortunately. And then this is, over here is a lima bean. And I don't know what it's doing now. These were also looked like they were starting to send up some climbers, some running shoots, and so I put these cages up. But I had originally thought that this variety, I think it's Ford Hook, was a bush bean, and it looks like it is for most of them, but there's a little bit of variation because there are some shoots over there running. But this bed here was supposed to be a fall or late planting of carrots and beets, and I didn't get very good germination over there from one of the varieties, and I think it was like Danvers, and I don't think it germinates very well in hot temperatures. So it's a good fall storage variety, but it doesn't seem to get started well at this summer season. And then over here I've got these Chinese cabbages that, we had so much hot weather early that I think they struggled, and now they've got cucumber beetles. Just about everything is eating them. Flea beetles, and cabbage loopers, some of them, and then they're getting disease as well. So they're just not looking good this year. They do have some small heads on them, and I'm looking forward to maybe getting some heads off of them. We'll see. And this is my cilantro gone to seed. and to go on to become coriander and seed for future cilantro planting, because I need to refresh my seed. Looks like I need to do some hoeing over here. And this rice over here. Wow, I think it's almost ready to harvest, because this stuff that's dry here is already starting to bend over, and I think that means it's getting ripe. But I'm just going to save this seed for next season. I'm not going to try eating it, because obviously there's not enough of it. Here's that walking onion that I've talked about that has these little sets on the top, and you can just, these will just fall on the ground and then they'll start growing, but you can also just take them off and individually plant these little bulbils and start new walking onions this way. And so these produce scallions first thing in the spring, so it's kind of nice to have them going. You can't really harvest them right now because the stems are really hard. Once they start sending up that that spike that has the bulbils on it, the plant just gets too hard and it's not very good to harvest after that. So I just leave them in the ground, and then they come up and have early spring scallions every year. Great plant to have. And this little fig has gotten going. That's one of the varieties that I just bought new this year. I think it's called Celeste. I've got some lima beans over here, some Thai basil and other basil, and I've made some pesto already. I've got some of this corn is just starting to tassel and with the silks on it, and I don't remember what that is. But yeah, I've got some other corn here. I think this is popcorn maybe. So the last several nights I've come out here to find my corn plants trashed, and you know, this is so much effort of growing this flower corn. This is flower corn. There's some popcorn in here, and of course it's raccoons and possums that come out here and just devour all my corn. And so what I've done in the past is I've either put up netting or set this trap, and you can see there's always some kind of critter that I have to deal with, but this little guy, I have to let them go pretty soon. I'm gonna probably drive over to the dairy pretty soon and drop that little critter off on the way, and just let him go far away from Dancing Rabbit. This is the culprit that's been eating my corn, or one of them. Banjo was just barking at it. Oof, oof. It's okay, we're gonna let you go in a minute. I just wanted to get a shot of you. We'll let you go. Even though you'll just be back to destroy my corn more. So why don't you eat the whole corn, Why'd you just pull down the whole stalk, leave it sitting on the ground, and eat a few bites, and then go on to the next one? Why? Well, that's not a good enough answer. So keep watching, subscribe and like, share the channel with your friends, and I'll see you next time.